All right then, you lovely lot, welcome back to Budget Cars and Bikes and Project Corsa Day 2. As you'll know if you have watched the first part of this repair video, as it were, we've done the intro and the walk around, and we've done the initial kind of strip everything back, see what we have got to deal with, and now we've got to try and put it all back together. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. So basically what we are doing today, well, I've actually started on this, so you're coming in a little bit late, but I have decided to try and fix this, as you know, without the need for buying a whole new kind of front slam panel, because I think this is salvageable. What we've done today is basically knock this little bracket here back this way. If you see the second video as it were, you'll see exactly what I mean. We've knocked it back in this way. We've had to knock it this way as well, because it was kind of bent in that way, and basically try to get this as close as possible. It still needs a tiny little bit of fettling, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some super glue in there overnight just to keep it in place, and then in the morning we are going to hot staple it. And I have practiced some hot stapling today, as you can see, on this inner arch liner here, and it's actually worked out really well when you consider the crack that was all the way up here, and you can barely see it now. You can just see it on the outside there, but this was a throwaway inner arch liner that I was going to spend 25 quid to get another one, and now we can use this one. So in principle this should work. This should make this nice and solid, because even here it's all solid. It just needs a little bit of maneuvering back into position, just like so. We'll hot staple it and then we will see where we are. Worst case scenario, as I said, we buy a new plastic slam panel, but I'm hoping this is going to work. So I'll set you up on the tripod when we're ready to hot staple, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So this is the little kit we're going to use today, basically, guys. This is the hot staple gun. I got this off Amazon, I believe. It was about 16-17 quid on one of their special Amazon Black Friday deals, I think. And you get a little set of clippers here, which I'll explain to you about in a minute. You get a standing knife here, which I have no idea why that's there. And you get 4 different bags of different sizes and shapes, as it were, for the hot glue staples. We are going to use these ones. I'll get one out in a minute and I'll show you exactly how this works and how we are going to use it to just reinforce, doubly reinforce, kind of belt and braces really on this little section here to make sure. I mean, that is solid now. We glued that yesterday. That is going nowhere, but I'm going to be, as I said, a bit belt and braces on it and make sure 100% that is never going to move again. So I'll get the gun out, get it heated up and talk you through it. So there's no need to actually warm anything up like there is on a kind of glue gun per se, where you have to just kind of wait while the glue gun warms up. All you literally have to do is plug it in and it's pretty much ready to go. These are the staples we're going to use today. I'll just get one out and show you. It's kind of a snake shape, I would say. So that's the kind of shape that we're looking at, basically. That is going to clamp in over the little section down here. I'm going to see if I can zoom this in for you a little bit, guys, and give you a better idea of exactly how this works for those that are interested. I'm using my new cordless mic as well, my wireless Bluetooth mic, so I can actually get over to the car and do stuff without having to shout at the camera, as it were. So I'm obviously up here, so I'm hoping you guys can see this little gun here. Effectively, all you'll do, I do apologise if you can't see very much, but effectively all you do is you stick the 2 pins into the end of here, and if this little thing will come over, we just press the trigger basically on here, and that heats up the staple. I'm hoping this will show on camera. Bear with me while we do the first one. You light it up, you wait for it to start smoking a little bit, push it in a bit, but not too much. The trick is not to push too much. And the other trick that I've learned from doing the arch liner is to make sure you leave it, because it may seem like I'm not doing very much at the moment, but I'm just making sure that the plastic that has melted is now sealed. And as you can see, that is in there, and that is the first one done. So all we're going to do is basically do another maybe 3 or 4 across here, and as I said, this never gets hot. This is brilliant. This never gets warm. These 2 kind of antennas, as it were. It's only the actual staple that gets hot straight away. And as I said, all you do is you press the trigger, wait for it to start smoking a little bit. That gives you an indication then that it's ready to go. So we'll do another one. And as I said, just give it enough time for the glue to actually harden slightly. Well, I say glue, I mean the plastic, because effectively what you're doing is melting a staple into the plastic. So you want to make sure, before you pull it away again, that it has actually done that, because otherwise all that happens is you'll just pull the staple straight back out. And as I said, you can just get another staple, stick it straight in. You haven't got to wait for anything to cool down, because it's not actually the antenna here that get hot, it's just the staple. And I think we can just about get one more in here, and then we should be pretty much done with this little section. And also, as I said, just be aware of the thickness of what you're using, as in the thickness of the plastic. Don't go pushing too far because you'll blow it through the other side, and then you could end up with a world of trouble depending on obviously how thick or how thin the plastic is. So we've done 3 across there, as you can see. That is all we're going to need to do. I am going to try to get one in down here, but it might be a little bit difficult just simply because I've got to move the bumper out of the way, so kind of bear with me on that. We'll just get a staple in there a second, and I'll try to pull this. Oh, the staple's popped out. Bear with me, guys. As I said, we'll just pop that up there for a second. Wait for it to start smoking, and then basically push it into the plastic, but not too far. Because if you go too far, you'll blow it through the other side, and that is exactly the thing you do not want to do. Let it cool down just a tiny bit, and okay, see, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. I basically pulled that just ever so slightly too early. That's exactly what I was trying to say to you. If you pull it too early, what ends up happening is the staple actually pulls back out with the gun, because it's quite a tight fit in here. It's not the end of the world, but you know, it's not an ideal scenario, of course. So we'll stick another one in here. I mean, you can tell if you're going to pull it out too quickly, because basically the pin will start to come with it, just as it has done there, as you can see. So we'll try another little spot down here. It's really difficult though, guys, because what's happening is I'm trying to bend it in. I think I might just leave that as it is, because that is going nowhere. That is probably actually more solid than it ever was when it came out of the factory. So that is basically the hot glue staple gun there. That is this little section here which holds the headlight in place, back exactly as it should be. Just need to tighten up this little bolt over here, and we'll try and get the headlight in. Just ever so quickly, guys, before we finish off as well, these little pins that stick up here, these are the ones that go into the antenna, as it were, of the glue stapler. They are just sticking up there. That is not ideal, but they do supply you with these little cutters here, and all you do is you just literally pop it in to there, give it a little, I'll see if I can do it. I'm trying to do that with my left hand, which isn't going to work because I'm predominantly right-handed, but all you do is just literally that, cut them off as close as you can get them. If you want to, you can file these back. I'm not going to bother. I don't think it's necessary. But just get them as close as you can. As you can see, we've done this. So there. And that's it. That is that done. I've got to do these little ones down here, but that is basically the hot stapling done. And as you can see, that is solid. That's not going anywhere. Right, let's get the headlight, see how that fits. We're going to have to offer this up and hope that everything I've done here so far is actually going to work, and there's no other damage, nothing out of place, because effectively the headlight now should just slot straight into there with a little bit of manoeuvring of this front bumper. It should slot straight in there, which, if my calculations and my plans are correct, we'll get that headlight unwrapped, pop it in there, and then we should be able to be getting on with this wing and try to slot that in as well. Let me just get the headlight out and we'll carry on. Okay, well, after about 5 minutes of trying to maneuver stuff around, we've worked it out. As you can see, it is perfectly in line there with the bumper. I just couldn't work out why there was nothing basically here to bolt into, but if you actually look on the other side, just there, it bolts into the wing. So once the wing's on, that gives you that little bracket just there to bolt that top bit in there. And I think I'm correct in thinking there that there is another little bolt just here, as you can see, just down here, that also pops into the wing bracket here that clips this whole kind of bumper into the wing thing. So effectively you've got one bolt that goes down into there, and then you've got the one that goes into the wing and the other one that goes into the wing, and it all should slot together. I guess we'll see. What I'll do is I'll get the wing out and put you on a time lapse, and we will try to fit this together, see exactly how it pans out. Another little cock up, guys. Well, not a cock up, I just missed it basically. I just found this in the boot of the car, and for the life of me I couldn't work out or remember where I took this off from, so I've had to go upstairs and check out the other videos that we made, and it seems it actually originally came off somewhere down here. So I'm going to try to work out exactly where this used to fit, where it needs to fit again, but as you can see it's a little bit bent, so I'm going to have to get it on there, work out where it fits in relation to the wing and the headlight and the bumper, of course. So bear with me while we get on with that. I'll stick you on the tripod again. So it turns out it actually fits just like that, but obviously, as you can see, it is slightly deformed, so I'm assuming that should actually go down like so. So we'll have to just get a pair of mole grips on there. It does have a lot of play though, as you can see here with that little knob down there. It actually does have a fair amount of play, so we can move that around, but obviously I don't want to get the light in and then realize I've got to tighten it up. So I'll put you back on the tripod while I faffle about with this, and you can busily watch me get more and more confused. All right, we're just about done then, guys. We are in and sorted with the headlight. The bumper's clipped back into place. The wing is on. The little indicator surround is on as well. Even though I managed to break the original, I managed to get the old one back in, so we'll just give that a bit of glass polish. That should look fine. The wing itself looks incredibly white and bright compared to the rest of the car, but what I'll do is I'll give it a really, really good wash, and then if need be, I'll polish back this side here so it all kind of blends in. The wheel arch liner is in as well. We managed to fix that, so that's saved a couple of quid. There's no problem there at all. And all I've got to do really is put the 16-inch alloy wheel back on. So what I'll do is I'll get busy with that, and I'll give it a really, really good wash, and I'll give it a really, really good polish, and then we'll cut back in and then we'll have a look at it as it is, finished, done, nothing else needed doing. But suffice to say, it has been a ball ache of a job because it is incredibly hot here today. It's probably about 25 degrees, although it feels about 40 degrees when you're sat here. I've probably got a farmer's tan now, which is just perfect, of course. And, well, as I said, I've got to get the wheel back on, get it off its axle stand, and then we'll take it for a test drive, make sure everything works. And as I said, we'll give it a good wash and a polish, and I'll show you it as it is, done, fixed, and ready to go out the door as it is. The only other thing I've got to do is change this energy sign for that little one over there. That's literally the only other tiny little thing I need to do. But as I said, I've not washed this car. I've not really driven it. I'm hoping that all of this down here is going to be absolutely perfect. I can't see anything obvious. Maybe you guys have seen something in the previous videos. I can't see anything that's ringing alarm bells for me. So as I said, we'll get the wheel on, give it a wash and a polish, and I'll cut back in when we take it for a little drive. By the way, if you are wondering why we didn't film me putting the wing back on and clipping the bumper in place and all that kind of stuff, I'm hoping if you're watching this video, you know how to do that. I mean, it's literally 3 clips along here and it just smacks back into place, basically. And that is that corner held in. There's nothing else really to hold it in. The wing was such a ball ache and it was taking me so long to get everything absolutely lined up. But I think you'd agree, those shut lines there are absolutely perfect, top and bottom. But as I said, it took me a while to get that together. And I didn't want to bore you with a 15-hour video. The bumper does fit and it looks fine from this kind of angle, but it does jut out ever so slightly. I'm hoping you can see that it juts out just ever so slightly there. I mean, I could push that in if I could find a way to clip that in, but then again, you have to remember this has been in a bit of a bump, so you know, things are going to be ever so slightly out of alignment, but I think overall that's come out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, it's literally been, I would say, 3 hours work, 4 hours work over 2 days, you know, and that's just me messing about trying to get everything lined up. Anyway, as I said, let's get this washed and polished and cut back in.